Hey guys, how's it going? Well, we're starting out the semester. You guys are probably feeling a little overwhelmed because there's a lot of stuff going on. But this is the part where we talk about the disclaimer for the class. And so I really want you to listen up, or you can just skip the video and just read through the material that is on this page because I'm going to be going over the same information in the video as that's got some on my lip here. I don't know. So anyway, the information is the same in the video as what's written on the page. So the disclaimer for the class, I really want you to read it this week because I want you to think about if this is the right class for you or not. Because there are other sections of Guidance 507 and they are open. We can get you into one if you really think this is the wrong section for you. I don't do things the way that all the other teachers do them. There are some teachers that are doing things similar to me, but we kind of know who those teachers are and who's doing what. So if this isn't the right situation for you, let me help you find somewhere that is right for you, okay? Because I want you to get the most out of your Guidance 507 experience so that way you could become the best student possible, you know? So the disclaimer for this class, the first thing is that this class is more than just learning about new study skills. It's not just about academics. It's about you as a person and what has gotten you to this point, the things that are, holding you back, how you're self-sabotaging, because a lot of us self-sabotage, how you're procrastinating, because a lot of us procrastinate, and what the bigger and deeper issues are that are related to why you are, why you've made mistakes that have led you to being in this class. So if you're looking for just like, oh, I just want to sit and listen to study skills all day, none of our classes are like that. No matter which class you go into, this is something that is going to be addressed because we know that it's not just about study skills. Like most of you guys know how to read. You're smart people. We know this. The reason why you're here has nothing to do with your intelligence or your ability to do well in school if, you put your mind to it. It's all the other stuff. It's the stuff that gets in the way, like taking on too much, right? That's the biggest reason I think a lot of people are here. Or maybe like a huge life event happened. Maybe there was a death in your family. Maybe, I don't know, and I don't want to assume, but I do know from teaching this class for such a long time that a lot of you are going through a difficult time right now. And so we're going to address those things. And for some of you, maybe this might be too soon for you to feel comfortable doing that. And if that's the case, then maybe you should take a moment and take a semester off or something and come back when you feel a little stronger, you are ready, because we are going to be addressing those deeper issues that have caused problems for you to help you get back on track. Okay, so that's something you need to be aware of. Something else, we're going to be discussing really personal and sensitive information in the class. And so it's really important that we keep everything in the class confidential, meaning between us, right? So if you and I have a meeting, like a personal meeting via Zoom, and we talk about your life and what happens with you, I'm not going to go tell anybody about it. It's going to be between us. It's going to be confidential. And the same thing should go for anything that's discussed between students in this class. So if you're in a discussion online and you talk about something personal, you can expect that all the rest of the students in the class are not going to go talk about that with their friends, family, relatives, etc., because it's confidential. And that way we can all feel safe to kind of share what is really happening with us and what the discoveries that we're finding about ourselves. And it can feel like a safe place to do that. So it's important that you keep other people's information confidential. Okay? All right, the next one is we're going to be discussing topics that have adult themes. And so I'm going to read off the ones that are on this list here. So we're going to be talking about sex, okay, or sexual relationships and the responsibility that comes with that. So safe sex, that kind of stuff. Suicidal ideation. So like, if you're ever feeling like, I don't want to be here, that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that. Mental illness of all kinds. We're going to talk about self-sabotage quite a bit. body image, eating disorders, drug addiction, sex addiction, video game addiction, and a lot of other topics. So if this sounds like it might be too much for you or something that you don't want to deal with, you might want to think about taking another instructor for this course, because I'm a psychologist. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you guys. I have a PhD in clinical psychology. And though I'm not a therapist, I'm actually just a teacher and also a writer. Um, and I don't want to say just a teacher, because teachers are, we need good teachers. Teachers are amazing, and I love teaching. Um, but because of my background in psychology, I find that I'm pretty good at drawing out people's issues for them to look at and examine, and kind of saying the right things to encourage them to find more, or to gain more insight into themselves and why they do particular behaviors and things like that. So because of that, I'm not afraid to address, extremely adult themes that may be applicable to most of you guys. And so I'm good with talking about that kind of stuff, and I want you to feel comfortable talking about that kind of stuff. If you're not comfortable, please text me and let me know. We can see if we can get you into another section before we get too far into the semester. Okay? The next one is this course will involve the use of strong language and will include the use of profanity. So I've been working on this for like many semesters. I have been trying to limit my cuss words, but I am just one of those people where when I get going on something, like I really get into it and I'm really passionate about it and I'm trying to share, like cuss words just come out. And I think that's because I grew up in a family where that was kind of normal and that's what we did. So now that I'm an adult, and it's funny, I spent a lot of years like not cussing and being really professional, all this. But what ended up happening over time is I had a lot of students who are just younger, and they would kind of cuss and stuff. And so I realized that like this is how a lot of you guys just talk on a regular basis. And it's also how I talk on a regular basis. Like when I'm not when I'm not teaching, I talk it. I'm like cuss words are slipping out. So sometimes you will hear a cuss word come from me. I try really hard not to, but when I get really passionate, sometimes I do that. The other thing is a lot of the materials in the class contain profanity. They do. Because I'm using examples that I'm hoping are kind of relevant to you, that you can identify with, and that I guess are on topic. So yeah, some of the like videos and things that you will watch, and even some of the mission statement videos that people have created as part of the class will have profanity in them, and I don't have a problem with that. I've only had a couple students who have had a problem with that over the course of the semester, and I had one that complained, which is why now we have this on this list with this disclaimer, so you understand that there will be profanity in the class. I don't even understand why that's an issue. Other than like out of respect for people who don't like profanity. I just want to say that you can just ignore it. It doesn't have to apply to you. You don't have to do it. But do know that, yeah, other people, that's kind of a thing that they do. I'm pretty sure that's how life is. Like when you're going about your business, you run across some people who cuss like sailors, and you just kind of go, that's just how they are, and you walk on. So that's kind of what I'm hoping you'll do. I want people to be able to just be themselves and be in the moment and say what they need to say. So if you're talking in one of our discussions and you say a cuss word, it's not going to be the end of the world. I don't have a problem with it. And I personally think it's better for us to be as real as possible with each other, because it'll make us more comfortable, and we'll feel better about, I guess, opening up and sharing parts of ourselves that are going to help us to make progress towards the goals that we have set for ourselves. And that's the plan. Okay, so if you have issue with profanity, there are sections of this class in which that's not an issue. So we can move you to one of those. All right, so despite the laid back atmosphere of the class, I still require complete respect from you for other students and from me and for me. Okay, so I actually feel like I respect you guys. Like you guys, I think of you guys as kind of like, my clients or my customers, because, I am being paid, to deliver a service to you, which is to teach you the material for this course. And yeah, like I respect you as my customers, I guess, but I also want you to respect me as your instructor. And I also want you to respect one another, because respect is very important in a class like this. Because if we don't all feel comfortable and respect it, then it's going to hold some of us back from being able to explore fully what we need to explore to become better people and to become better students. And that's the point of the class, right? Is to become better people and students. So it's very important that you respect others, but most importantly, I would like to see you respect yourself. So a lot of times I hear people talking negatively about themselves. Like they'll say, I'm such a loser, because I don't want to hear language like that from you, okay? I want you to talk positively about yourself. Don't put yourself down. You're not a loser. You're awesome. Every one of us is awesome. We just have to figure out how to let the awesome parts of ourselves show, and how we need to utilize the parts of ourselves that are, fantastic and wonderful, and steer ourselves in the right direction. Because everybody has a good side, everybody has a bad side, right? So we're going to be focusing on our good side. Yeah. And when we respect ourselves and others, gosh, it's just a much better place to be. So I want this class to be like that. If for some reason people are not respecting each other, that is probably the only reason why I would ask somebody to leave the class. When I say ask somebody to leave the class, I have the power to remove you if you do something that is disrespectful. I have never, not once, ever had to pull someone aside and say, you're not being respectful because blah, blah, blah. Everybody is just super respectful. So I kind of feel like this, I guess, part of the disclaimer of this rule is not necessary, but at the same time, like, it has to be said. All right. So if you can't continue taking this class for any reason, make sure that you check in with me and let me know, hey, I'm not going to be coming anymore. And that you also drop the class, or well, actually, before you drop the class, you should probably go into Opening Doors or contact Julie Law. She's the coordinator for Opening Doors, and ask, what would happen if I drop my Guidance 507 class? What would that do to my contract? For some of you, it kind of depends on when you signed your contract, like how it will affect you. But if you have a lot of W's already on your transcript, it may really negatively affect you to withdraw from the class. So it's good to talk to them first to find out if it's feasible for you to drop. And then lastly, the last thing on the list is plagiarism and cheating of any kind is not going to be tolerated in the class. I have had people cheat, believe it or not. And I just want you to know, I'm not the kind of instructor who is just like, oh, I caught you cheating. You need to stop that. This is a warning. There is no warning. This is the warning. This is the warning. So if you are caught cheating on tests or anything like that, I will report you to the dean of our department, and she will decide what happens to you. It will not even be up to me. It's like I'll hand it over to her. And that's just because I have to do that. That's like part of my job, is like to make sure nobody's cheating or plagiarizing things. And just so you know, plagiarism is when you use someone else's work or ideas or their exact words as if they're your own without giving them credit. And plagiarism is a little different than just straight up cheating on a test or something like that. But both of them are really serious and can result in, I guess, at the worst case scenario, a dismissal from the college. So none of you guys are going to do that, though, because you guys are all smart. If you look below in the text, you'll see under the last thing where it says plagiarism and cheating of any kind will not be tolerated, there is a link to Chafee's academic integrity code. That actually goes over the stuff that, we expect from you at Chafee. Like as a student, you should be doing these things. And one of those things is not cheating. But there's a lot of other things too. And respect's in there as well. So yeah, take a look at that. Next week, I will be asking you to sign a contract saying that you understand all the items in this disclaimer and that you agree to them as you continue in the class. So I just want to give you a week to kind of digest the information, make sure this is the right place for you. If you feel like, I really don't think this is the right class for me, and when I say that, I mean you feel like maybe this isn't the right section of the class because maybe my policies are not really driving with you, we can see if we can get you into another section. It may be possible, it may not, I don't know, but we'll check it out. We'll see what we can do. Um, Most of the time we can, if it is an issue like that where it's just like, oh, it's just a wrong fit. But I think if you stick it out with me, you'll find that I'm a really good instructor. I know my stuff, and I can help you if you are willing to do your part. So I can give you the information, give you the stuff, but you have to do the work. And if you do, you will find yourself growing in a positive direction by the end of the term. All right, that's it. So I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.